I remember the first time I saw her like it was yesterday. It was a hot afternoon and the river was calm. The air smelled like fresh earth and water, and I was sitting by the bank, washing my fishing nets. The sun beat down on me, making my back sweat. That's when I saw her, standing at the edge of the river, looking at me. At first, I thought she was just another woman from the village, but something about her made me pause. She was too beautiful, too perfect. Her skin shone like polished bronze, and her long dark hair flowed behind her, like a river in the wind. Her clothes were like nothing I had ever seen, shimmering in the sunlight, and her eyes, those eyes were unlike any I had ever seen. They were as bright as the moon, and as deep as the river itself. I had never seen a woman so beautiful, and I thought to myself, she must be a spirit, come from the river. I stood up, my heart racing, unsure whether to speak or not. She smiled at me, and I felt my knees go weak. "Are you a spirit?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. She laughed, a soft, melodious sound that made the air feel lighter. "I am no spirit, but I come from the waters. My name is Mami Wata," she said. Her voice was smooth like silk, and I found myself drawn to her words. "I live here by the river," I replied, still unsure of what to make of her. "What brings you to this part of the river?" "I've been watching you," she said, her eyes never leaving mine. "You're a good fisherman. I could use someone like you." At that moment, I felt something strange, a kind of warmth that spread through my chest. She was offering me something, but I didn't know what. All I knew was that I wanted to be near her. I nodded slowly, still unsure. "What do you mean?" She stepped closer, her feet making no sound on the ground. "I can give you wealth, power, everything you desire. All I ask in return is your love." I blinked, confused. "What do you mean, my love?" She smiled again, and it was as if the whole world melted away. "I am a goddess of the water. I can make you rich, and you will have the love of a woman like no other. But you must give yourself to me, heart and soul. You must promise to be mine." My heart raced. It was tempting, more tempting than anything I had ever felt in my life. "I will give you anything you want," I said without thinking. "But why me? Why do you choose me?" Mami Wata's smile grew wider, her eyes gleaming in the light. "Because you are the one I have been waiting for. You are pure, and your heart is strong. You are the one who will help me." Before I could speak again, she stepped closer, her hand reaching out to me. "Come, join me in the water. Let us become one." I hesitated, but I was already lost. I took her hand, and when I did, the world around me seemed to change. The river water rippled, though there was no wind. The air grew heavy, and the light seemed to dim, as if the sun was retreating. For a moment, I felt the ground beneath me shake, and I almost stumbled, but Mami Wata held me steady. She led me to the water's edge, where the river was deep and dark. The moment my feet touched the water, I felt an odd pull, as though the river itself was calling me. I looked down and noticed something strange. Her feet. They were not like a human's feet at all. They were covered in shimmering scales like fish fins. My heart stopped. Before I could pull my hand away, she spoke again, her voice now colder, more commanding. "Do not be afraid. This is the gift I offer you. To be part of the river, to live forever in my world." My breath caught in my throat. I had heard the old stories about Mami Wata, the goddess of the water, who lured men into her world and took their souls. I tried to pull away, but her grip on me tightened. "What are you?" I asked, fear creeping into my voice. Her face changed then, her beauty twisting into something monstrous. Her eyes glowed like the moon, and her lips parted to reveal sharp, jagged teeth. Her hair swirled around her, no longer flowing, but writhing like snakes. Her body began to shimmer, and for the first time, I saw the full truth of what she was, half woman, half fish, with a tail that flicked beneath the water. "You have seen too much," she hissed, her voice now filled with malice. "Now you belong to me." Panic flooded my chest. I tried to pull away, but the water around me grew colder, its grip tightening.
pulling me deeper. I could hear her laughter echoing in the air, cruel and unfeeling. I made a mistake, I whispered, struggling against the water that seemed to rise around me like an inescapable tide. Please, let me go. But Mami Wata's eyes only shone brighter, her form growing more monstrous with each passing second. You are mine now, forever, she said, her voice like a cold wind. I fought with everything I had left, but my strength was failing. The water pulled me deeper and deeper, the river's currents stronger than any I had ever known.
As I struggled, I heard the faint sound of drums in the distance, the voices of the village calling out. I realized with growing horror that I was being drawn into the river, away from everything I had ever known. Just as I thought I might drown, there was a sudden splash, and I felt myself being yanked from the water. With a final burst of strength, I broke free from Mami Wata's grip and staggered back onto the shore, gasping for air. She was still standing at the water's edge, her eyes burning with rage, but she did not follow me. Her smile faded, and she spoke one final, chilling word. You may escape today, but remember, you will always belong to the river. I ran, not daring to look back. The sounds of the river's current and her laughter haunted me for weeks, until I finally fled the village and moved far away. I never told anyone what had truly happened, for I knew no one would believe me. But I learned a lesson that day, a lesson that echoes in my mind whenever I hear the sound of flowing water. Beware the river, for its beauty hides many dangers, and never trust what glitters in the depths. Do you have any experience similar to this? Let's hear you at the comment section. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like and share. Thank you.